Hello everyone. Welcome to my channel BBTechHub. So you know that OSI model is going on, which comes under the CCNA series. And in the previous video, I discussed about the presentation layer. And in this today's video, I'll go through the session layer. So you already know there are 7 layers over there. And as per the basic concept of OSI, application is my 7th layer, presentation is 6th layer, and session is my nothing but my which layer? This is my 5th layer. We call it as a 5th layer. Okay. So everyone, what happened? So that we are starting with the sender and data is going to the receiver. I am in the sender machine and data will be received by receiver in the receiving machine. So here what happened, I told you in the previous video, and suppose I am sending a message, hello, how are you? And then how it is converting step by step that we are going to see. Data is entered through the application layer. From the application, data is going to the session layer. Data is going to the presentation layer. And from this presentation layer, data is going to the session layer. So session is my 5th layer, which is receiving the data at the receiving end, which is receiving the data from the presentation layer. It is adding the header, yes, and it passed to the transport layer. Am I clear? And just reverse at the receiving end, what happened? At the receiving end, this session layer will receive the data from the transport layer. And it will detaches the header. What will do? It will detach the header, tear up the header. And then it will take the data and pass it to the presentation layer. Am I clear, everyone? So at the sending end, what happened? Session layer is getting the data from the presentation layer. Then it is adding the header and pass it to the transport layer. And at the receiving end, what it is doing? Your session layer is receiving the data from the transport layer, detaches the header and pass it to the presentation. So this is the 5th layer of OSI model. Now we will see what are the main function of this layer. Is it clear? And why this is called as session layer. So please, for your kind information, what is session? Now you see, I'm delivering this video. So I'm in a session, whether it may be 10 minutes, whether it is maybe 11 minutes. If in an assembly, what happened? In the assembly, we say assembly session is going on. Yes or no? Any class, we say the session is going on. What is session? Any communication phase, we call it as session. Everyone, please remember, what is session? Any communication phase where sender is sending something and receiver is receiving something, for that particular duration of that communication, we call it as a session. And always remember, every session has a start point and every session has an end point. Suppose when I start the video and all of a sudden I start the video, you people cannot understand which topic is going to discuss, what was the previous topic, what ma'am is saying. So what we used to do? I just initialize the session. Hi, how are you? Welcome to my channel. That means what? I am bringing you people in the communication mode. So every session start with session establishment, managing the session, pass on the communication, maintain the communication, and after the communication is over, then terminate the session. Is it clear? So every session has a session initialization and there is a termination. And in between this duration, actual communication take place. Am I clear? So the session layer is responsible for the whole management of a session. Now see what happened. There are 2 important function happens, dialogue control and synchronization. What is dialogue? That is the communication. Is it clear? The communication which happens during the session between the devices is called the dialogue. So session layer is responsible for setting up a session and maintaining that session. What this doing? This layer is initiating the session, maintaining the communication, and it is terminating the communication also. Am I clear? Sorry. Now, so next is my synchronization. Suppose if you all of a sudden go to anyone's house and after visiting over there, you see the person is not there. So your visit is meaningless. But before visiting the house, if you had a conversation with the person that today at this time I'm coming, will you be over there? And if the person confirms the person will be in the home, then your visit will be fruitful. And if the person is saying, no, I will not be available, then also it will be fruitful because it will save your time. So in a communication phase, when sender and receiver is going to come for a communication, then there is a understanding between the sender and receiver. Means, if the receiver is ready to receive the data, and if the sender is sending the data, will it can receive the data receiver? So these are the negotiation before starting any communication is done in this session there. Am I clear? Because here sender and receiver discuss in details whether they can carry on the communication or not. Now here is the question. The next point is the synchronization. What? In the synchronization layer, in the layer, a checkpoint is decided. So what is the checkpoint? That is also a good thing. Suppose I am the sender, I am sending data and receiver is receiving. But I told you in the basic concept of the networking, a communication completes when the sender gets an acknowledgement from the receiver whether data has been received or not. So when the sender is sending the data, sender expect an acknowledgement from the receiver. Is it clear? Now here is the question. What would be the duration of the acknowledgement? If sender is sending 8-bit, receiver is saying, yes, I have received. Again sending 8-bit, again receiver is saying, no, I have received it. So what will happen? This is the wastage of time and doing. So that's why sender and receiver make a common point, in which point the sender will expect and acknowledge from the receiver, not from every byte of communication. Is it clear? So the point, suppose they are deciding if I transfer 20 MB, I must receive an acknowledgement. Well and good. Is it clear? So every 20 MB transferred, sender will wait for an acknowledgement. Am I clear? Is it clear? So if the acknowledgement is received by the sender, then it confirms the sender. Then sender can again go for the next 200 MB of data. Clear? So this is the point where sender and receiver will check whether data has been received successfully or not. This point is called nothing but my checkpoint. Which point? This is, we call it as a checkpoint. So in the session layer, there is a negotiation between the sender and receiver, and a checkpoint is decided, because after reaching every checkpoint, they will check data has been received or not. If in the checkpoint data is not received during this checkpoint, so what will happen? Sender can understand कि I have to retransmit the data, maybe data is lost. Am I clear? So it also gives an confirmation to the center how much data has been transmitted successfully and how much data need to be retransmitted. Am I clear? So in this session layer, sender and receivers negotiation completes, and now they are saying, I want to start my communication. Now the communication will start. That is real transportation of data. This real transportation of data happens in the transport layer. So next video, I will come up with the transport layer. This is the middle layer, this is the core layer, and this is the most vital layer. And there are several questions arise from this layer, whether it is an interview or whether it is a global exam. So thank you. So today up to this session layer. In the next video, I'll meet with you with